Hello everybody, these are just some quick thoughts on Mega Man 2.5. It's a fan game, it's not associated with Capcom in any way. It's a Mega Man game that takes place from the 2.5D perspective, which you've seen in 1,000,001 other games, so I don't really need to explain what it is, do I? I've just finished playing what's called Beta 2, but it's shown as Beta 2.0. In other words, full version 2.0, and I tell you, the game is far from being a full version. Now, I don't want to take something that's absolutely amazing and say, here's what's wrong with it, but today I'm going to take something that's really amazing and say what's wrong with it. Now, overall, it's a cool idea. I mean, it's a cool concept. It originally started as a proof of concept, then they decided to get people involved to turn it into a full game. And, you know, it's pretty impressive, but I have a few major issues with it. Issue number one, you know in the original Mega Man games, when you fire 3 bullets and you have to wait for them to go off screen? That's in this one too, but it's not clear what constitutes off screen. So it's actually really difficult to tell when you're going to press the fire button and you're going to shoot a bullet, and when you're going to press the fire button and not shoot a bullet. Now, I thought this was lag with my Xbox 360 controller at first, because I went into the options and enabled it, but the same thing happens with the keyboard. Look, if you're going to upgrade the visual mechanic to be sort of modern, and you're going to update, like, the menus and things to be modern, you know, you've got this quick menu for switching between weapons, which is fucking useless when you need that little gap of time during a boss battle. That is absolutely fucking useless. But anyway, if you're going to upgrade that, why don't you upgrade some of the main game mechanics? Now, I know you're trying to make, oh look, it's classic Mega Man, but in 2.5D. Just let us shoot at a regular interval, okay? That lag is making the game kind of unplayable. Now, the second issue I really have with it is that the 2.5D isn't really implemented as well as it could be. Now, again, I feel bad taking a shit on something like this, something that's obviously a work of passion and love. But the 2.5D is off-putting as hell, and I know it's the whole point of the game, but it gets really hard to judge where you're supposed to jump. There's this bit coming up, I go to jump it, and then I switch into another angle on the building, and I'm just trying to figure out, well, how am I supposed to know that? Now, you know, give credit where credit is due. It's got a lot of resolution options. You can size it up to the full size of your screen, have it in full HD. You can, if you want to, and that's good. You've got that option, and it's cool. But, oh, it still plays like crap. Now, I love the original Mega Man games, don't get me wrong, but there's certain things about them that really should have been changed. And that annoying landing sound when you land on the ground every time. It isn't terrible. It's playable. It looks okay. It wasn't a complete waste of time. But the thing is, this was originally a proof of concept demo. Nothing more than proving, oh yeah, wouldn't it be cool if Mega Man was in 2.5D? Now they've started developing it, and I think it's time to go, okay, maybe it wouldn't be cool if Mega Man was in 2.5D, because, I'm just not getting on with it, and I'm sure there's a lot of people who will play this demo, and they'll get along with it just fine. But for me, no. It's just not working out. It's just not working out for me. I haven't yet played it in multiplayer, but I imagine it's going to be much the same. I might try it at some point, but ultimately that's down to whether or not I can get my head around how it's meant to. This game is meant to play like classic Mega Man games. It's meant to play slow. It's meant to play clunky. It's meant to play like an NES game from 20 years ago. I know that, but there is so much that could have been done to make this better. They could have put in a better shooting mechanic. They could have implemented more weapons. Hell, they could have implemented the weapons properly. Because you've got the Snake Man weapon, right? That shoots the little snake across the ground? that weapon is supposed to be able to pick up items, but it can't. Levels seem incredibly long too. I don't remember them being as long as they are. Especially that Shadow Man level, it just goes on forever. And there are some jumps that are just so awkward to see and so awkward to plan for at 2.5D. Like this section here in the Snake Man stage, where I just kept jumping, hitting my head on the ceiling and dying. Every time, because I just couldn't judge the height of the jump. Because 2.5D made it awkward. I'm sure that much nearer release, this fan game might, play better. But as it currently stands, I'm really not impressed with it. It's okay, it shows promise, it shows potential. There was a little bit of input lag in the game, especially when I was playing with my controller. Once I set the keyboard controls back, it wasn't a problem. And please, in the single player stages, let us have a menu that stops time, okay? Because having to flick through on a quick menu is fine on, say, a controller, but on a keyboard, as you're having to look down for the keys, you're having to remind yourself what key you've mapped it to, and there's a boss coming at you, shooting his weapon at you, and you can't judge in enough time, it's just awkward. It's awkward. That's what Mega Man 2.5D currently is. It's awkward. There's room for improvement.